After watching the video, they were looking at the questions. I was a little bit unsure of how to answer some of these questions, whether I would know some of the right answers or if I was using the right um, referencing to the video and everything. But I actually did pretty good. There was only one that I wasn't quite sure of, but number one, I said that his instructional approach is developmentally appropriate for the middle school students and not elementary because he engages them in a way of thinking that the elementary school doesn't understand yet, and he challenges them to think about their thinking by asking themselves questions that they might need to know to answer um, when thinking about the problem, um, by engaging them in abstract thinking. And elementary students don't think abstractly like that. They don't think about the moral dilemma of uh, of characters in a story, which was pretty close to what the feedback answer gave. Number two, I said that he shows that he understands students' readiness to engage in reflectivity when the students begin to form those hunches and questions that they want to ask themselves in regard to what they need to know to solve the problem. When the students start to do this, he knows that they understand uh, to engage in reflectivity. Um, it's pretty spot on with the feedback question. Just a few different wordings um, from my response and the feedback response. Number three, um, I said that he asked the students to think about questions that they want to ask themselves for things they need to have a better understanding of so that they can decide for themselves uh, what they want to do with the runaway slaves. Again, with the moral dilemma, they are. uh, this was the one that I may have had a little uh, unsureness about compared to the feedback response, um, saying that he gives them a model for problem solving and allows them to use their thinking, and it's student centered, not teacher centered. Um, but again, with posing their own questions about what they want to do, um, I did not talk about the uh, autonomous morality stage, but I think that I was in the same um, area, the same type of response. Just probably my response was compared to other responses were further away from the feedback response. Number four, I said that he most likely chose this story because that it deals with the decision making of a moral dilemma, whether to help the runaway slaves or turn them to the slave catcher, and this prompts students to think about what they would do and what factors they need to think about to make their decision. Again, the feedback uh, response saying moving into autonomous morality stage, moral development. Um, Again, it's talking about the moral dilemma, like I said in my response, that allows uh, the feedback response that allows the teacher to lead students in a discussion about the dilemma. Um, so, like I said, they think about uh, they think about it themselves and what they would do in the moral dilemma. So this affects their moral reasoning because it challenges what they would think and what would govern their choices to make a decision. And the last one, I said that uh, he puts the students into groups um, to work on the problem together. By working together, the students can share their ideas of what they think and receive feedback from their peers. And by letting them work together and share ideas and collaborate with one another, he shows that he knows students have increasing dependence on peers, and is pretty close to the feedback response. Again, that when they work on groups, in the video you can see that they're discussing things together, and this allows the students to tell each other how they feel about certain situations, and that when they have that peer-to-peer interaction, that they build that dependence, that it increases the dependence. They talk to one another and collaborate about the different aspects of the problem and how they might come up with a solution, or their moral views on the dilemma, and how that affects the way that they think about the problem and what they would do in that situation.